Hello, Miss Gray. First of all, I congratulate you for your decision to expand the outdoor fitness business in Australia. There is a tremendous potential for growth in this industry, considering that the increasing health awareness in the country. After an interview with you a fortnight ago, I have analyzed the various business structure that will be suitable for your business need. The research reveals that the outdoor fitness business in Australia are either a solo proprietorship or proprietary companies in Australia. Hence, I have weighted these two alternatives in arriving at a recommendation. To begin with, I would like to draw your attention towards the formation process of a company. It would need registration as well as expenditure, which could be a burden for you. However, this complex process has to be followed only once, when a company is formed. If you continue as a solo proprietorship, then no additional formalities or complex process is needed. However, since you have ample time to grow your business now, as your children has all grown up, and you are now relatively free from your family responsibilities, I think you can handle it. One of your major objects is to expand the business. Also, in competitive environments in the fitness industry in Australia, more investment will be needed for marketing and expansion purpose. The purchase of equipment will also require some investment and cost a lot of money in the future. Raising the capital is much easier in the case of company as compared to a solo proprietorship. The capital can also be raised by the issue of debenture in the case of company. But, on the other hand, if you want to raise capital as a solo proprietor, then there are options of loans through banks or financial institutions. But such loans could lead to a higher interest payment. Hence, your forming your company is more advantageous if additional capital is needed in the future. The major issue that are affecting the fitness industry in Australia are the instance competition and the lawsuit in case of injury or harm to customer. Therefore, there is a high risk involved in the business, which means it has to be mitigated. An advantage of forming a proprietary company is that your obligations will be limited. The creditors of the company can be forced to pay only the extent of the asset. Therefore, personal obligations is limited. Outdoor, on the other hand, if you continue as a solo proprietorship, there will be unlimited obligations and debts for you if there are litigations, lawsuits, or business failure. For instance, if a customer takes legal action against the company, then you will be responsible for the company's liquidation. Therefore, in order to reduce the risk, forming a company is better suited than continue as a solo proprietor. You have carried on this business for the last 10 years and formed a large client base. Therefore, you will want an increasing role in the business in the future. Also, if you continue with a solo proprietorship, there will be a tighter control over the affairs and options. On the other hand, if you choose to form a company, there will be dilutions of power of control of the company. There will be separate board of directors and shareholders in the company. which will mean that you have less control of the business. However, there are certain regulations in the Corporation Act of Australia which help in exercising greater control in the company. For example, as a member, you will have the power to appoint or remove the directors. You can also change the constitution of the company as a member. Therefore, with the help of these regulations, you have the freedom of changing the strategy of the business in the future. So you are still deciding where the company is going. Lastly, there is another aspect that we should consider in order to decide the business structure of your business. Although I don't really want to talk about this, but that is the perpetual succession of the business. This means continuity of your business in case of death or insolvency of the owner. You have run this business for last decade, and I am sure that you would like someone to carry on your legacy in such events. In case of a solo proprietorship, your business will cease, and in case of proprietor companies, the business can be continued by some other directors of the company. Which means it's pretty much likely that the possibility of the extension of the company will be continued by someone else. Therefore, the research analysis that I have carried out indicates that it is more appropriate for you to form a proprietary company. If you form a company, one of your primary objects to expand the business is fulfilled in a faster and more efficient manner. There is a complicated process involved and more monitoring with forming a company. However, considering that you can devote more time now to the business as you have your family responsibility, your children are all grown up, and I'm sure that you can manage the complex process involved in forming a company. The benefits of opening it outweighs the limitations associated with it. Hence, it is recommended to form a proprietary company of your own business. Also, in the future, when there is a further expansion of the business, it will be easier for you to change the structure to the public company when additional capital can be raised by the issue of shares to the public. For all the above analysis, it can be concluded that it is advisable for you to form a proprietary company, which is limited by shares. Though there are certain disadvantages such as complex process involved and less control over the company, but there are other benefits such as separate entity, transferability of share, limited liability, and perpetual succession. Considering the booming fitness industry in Australia, it is highly recommended that you should form a company so that growth opportunity can be tapped and by the clients. Thank you.